Hello and welcome to a new episode of Flash the Yarn, episode 9. Welcome or welcome back. This is a new episode, as I said, of Flash the Yarn, which is an episode of which I show you all the yarn that I have dyed for my upcoming shop update, which will be this January 23rd, 2022, Sunday at 2 p.m, which is my usual time for updates. So if you're new here, thanks for dropping by. My name is Caroline. I'm the indie dyer behind Yeah Yeah Yarn. I live in the South Island of New Zealand with my partner Sam and our little dog Bo, who's snoozing right next to me, so might make a guest appearance at some point. I hope you're well. I hope you're all very well. It's been a while. Well, first of all, I hope you all had a beautiful Christmas and a happy New Year, and that you had the chance to have a bit of a break like I ended up having. Yeah, it was, to me anyways, very restorative. That's the that's the least I can say. I am pretty tired today, so I might stumble onto my word, all of that, and as you can probably see by the lighting, it's pretty gloomy out there, so I hope that you'll get to see the yarn properly. But yeah, as I said, it's been a while. I didn't get to do Flash the Yarn for the last update that I had, which was in November. After that I had a sale, and basically haven't had a shop update since then. A few reasons I wanted to have one a bit earlier, but to be honest, I had a lot of pre-orders, I had a lot of things to go through. I have other reasons which I'll mention soon, soon on my Instagram and social media, which I invite you to follow if you don't already. All the information will be in the description below. But there's also the fact that I have been kind of made to take a break. I wasn't going to take one initially, and I had massive delays with my yarn delivery coming from overseas during the Christmas period. I think up to a month of delay, so about 4 weeks delay, which, was actually in the end something that I'm quite grateful for, because I would have probably worked all through the break without that, and I was quite burnt out from a lot of work, a lot of which was for the Christmas advent calendar, which was my first that I did it in 2021, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But yeah, anyways, it was just a lot of, I think, burning it by both ends, and I was getting to a little bit of a point of just feeling exhausted, and that's not very good for me when it comes to creativity and creating new things or having inspiration or motivation to work. When I push it too far, I just feel like I feel depleted on these fronts, and I don't get to really be as creative as I usually would be, or motivated even to good work, which I think for me is a big thing, because I'm lucky enough to have made this job my life, which is also thanks to all of you. So for that, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm excited to see and show you mainly what I've got in store for you in 2022. That, I don't know if you caught that, that was Bo snoring. He does a lot of snores. So anyways, yeah, so the Christmas advent, I will bring talk briefly about this. It was I would say a tremendous success. It was amazing. I had honestly so much fun to make those boxes. I put really all sweat and tears into them. It was a lot of work because I think I gave myself probably 2 months to make them, and then ended up having other things to do, so procrastinating, and then in the end I think I only had a month, 2 months and a half to finish them. And obviously I'd never done anything like that before, so that was all new process, and I definitely learned along the way, and I'm definitely not gonna give myself just a month and a half this year. That was quite short, but I made it, I did it, and I really just I had a vision for these boxes. I wanted them to be a certain way. It was very important for me that the packaging reflected the yarn as well and all of that. But yeah, it was definitely a roller coaster. I think I might end up writing a little bit of a blog on my website about that, just as a way for people that are interested to purchase the next one, to look through the process of this one. It was really fun. I just really took it day by day and was like, what color are we doing next? And initially I had all these photos that I was using and that I was going to follow, which were the photo that I had put in the listing for the product, but then I ended up kind of in a roadblock about a third the way through, maybe even before that, or just yeah, just closer to the halfway point. I can't remember exactly, but I got to a point where color wise, although I had like a beautiful fade and gradient, I just thought I don't know where to go from there, because if I keep incorporating this black and blue of the night sky or you know, the space color in every one of these yarn, that's really gonna limit my option in terms of new colors, and I felt kind of stuck. So I had to improvise and decided I was gonna go a little bit off path of what I had initially planned, and to be honest, it worked out amazing in the end. I'm very happy with how it turned out. All of you are as well. There was definitely a lot of people saying that they had a lot of FOMO from not having you know, bought it, and had a lot of regrets, and were really keen to get the next one. So I will have the next one for listing up very soon, so just keep an eye out. It will be sooner for some reasons that I can't really get into right now, but I will very soon, very soon tell you why. Either way, it'll be sooner than you think. So if you were interested about the Christmas advent for 2022, keep an eye out. This is coming very shortly, and yeah, I will have a lot more information, you know, on my socials or all that in the future. But either way, I recommend it. That's gonna be, you know, a fun ride. I definitely had a lot of fun the first time around, and I already know exactly what to do for the second one. So I have my plan themed, I have my box themed, I have already all these ideas. I just need to get started. So basically, you know, we'll get through that. But last time I made 20 and they sold out, I think, within 3 hours, which was insane, knowing that there was my first. But with the interest that first one has generated when I published all those photos online, I put a poll on my stories asking of, you know, many of you, like, would you be interested to get the next one, and to only answer if you were genuinely interested, to give me a gauge of the idea of how many I would have to maybe get to make this time around. And I think I got like 100 people saying that they would buy it no matter what. So definitely won't be able to make 100, that's for sure. I will make more than 20, but I won't make 100. So what I mean by that, if you're interested, definitely keep the eye out and get ready for that, because I think it'll sell pretty quickly. And yeah, I just don't want anyone to miss out. Unfortunately, I think some people will have to miss out. Just saying. So that's about it. I will briefly talk about what I'm wearing because it's in tandem with our shop update this month, and then we'll get through the yarn. I am bringing a lot of favorite again back this month. For this reason, some of the colorway I'm not going to show you on each base every time because it'll be in past episodes that you can find, and I gotta, excuse me, I gotta want to keep this one as short as I can. So this top is called the Yeah Yeah Sweater. So you guessed it, it was made by Dana in Germany, Berlin. Her name on Instagram is at Boredom Kills Designs, or Boredom Kill Design. I can't remember if there's an S or not. I will put all this information either on the screen or on the description below anyway. All of it is on my social media. If you go to my Instagram, which is where I'm the most active, you'll find photos of this top and photos of Dana with hers, which was knit with Oreo. So Dana designed this beautiful top last year using my yarn, and you know, we've released the pattern. She's released the pattern a little while ago now. However, with the pandemic, with everything that's happened, the time frame was just not ideal, and there just hasn't been a lot of interest. So to try and really push this, because honestly guys, I think this is really underrated, and this just, it needs to be out there, because this is probably one of my favorite knits, although I will have to change some things about it, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite top. It's beautiful. You probably can't see the details so much with the white straightness of the white, but as you can see, that's like a beautiful cable sleeves that goes all the way back. I have shown it in knitting episodes before, talked about it before, but either way, definitely worth getting that pattern and getting onto this. We are starting a knit along to, you know, push this a little bit forward. I think they're starting early February, basically. I think the knit along, no, sorry, the knit along will start, I think, next week. However, we have a giveaway that goes hand in hand with the knit along. There's actually 2 giveaways. So first of all, if you buy the pattern, you will get a 10% discount code on my yarn. to use for a sweater quantity of this pattern if you'd prefer, or something else. So there's that. Then there's Dana giving away an actual pattern, so you just have to go and head to her Instagram or mine and just apply with your name. You know how giveaway works. And then the last one is that I'm going to give away a sweater quantity of this of the yarn of your choice, really, but so it'll be 4-ply, because it'll be to make this top, which is a 4-ply sweater. So yeah, you'll get to pick any colorway that you like from me, and that'll be the giveaway. The giveaway for the yarn is basically just gonna be a draw amongst whoever, now I'm having a blank, I think it's whoever bought the pattern, but it might be whoever is participating in the knit along, might be both. I'll double check that and I'll clarify online, but either way, if you want to participate, I don't think you have to participate in the knit along to necessarily be part of the draw, but I'm not certain. Maybe actually, I'm telling you, I'm a bit tired today. Actually, I think the giveaway is for the knit along. So let's just say for now that if you participate in this knit along, obviously you don't have to finish it by a certain date, it's just a knit along, you will get the chance to be drawn to win a sweater quantity, which, you know, is always fun. So a little bit more about this. It's a cable sweater. It is cropped. You will see, yes, there is ends not weaved for a reason, and that reason is that during the knit along I will actually put this guy back on the needles, because there's a lot of changes that I need to do about it, which I have been pushing, you know, not doing, basically ignoring, but I really want to do them, because now that I'm actually worn it a couple times to take photos and everything, I'm like really keen to just keep wearing it. So it is 4-ply, and I use, I think, 2.5 skeins of for me this is sparkle sock for this medium size. I will do some modification, but basically you have this beautiful cable. The construction is that you start at the neck, you'll do the top, and then you'll do one sleeve after the other. Now I really messed up mine, and I didn't realize until it was way too late. Basically I switched the cable, the direction of the cable going this way once we get to the sleeve, as you'll see here with this weird hole. This shouldn't be like this, so I shouldn't have changed the direction, which means that all of the cables that are here are actually oriented the wrong way. They should be the other side. And same for this one, which I then thought I'll match it and it'll be fine, but because of how it falls, it's even worse. This one is even more low on my shoulder, so basically I have to redo both sleeves entirely, and I'll just do that during the knit along, basically. So that's kind of it for this sweater, but this is Tusk on sparkle sock, and I'm talking about all this because, you know, the giveaway, the knit along, etc., but also I will have a sweater quantity of this Tusk colorway in stock for Sunday, so it's perfect if you buy the pattern beforehand. You'll get the 10%, so just enjoy that and buy them, you know, by then. And I also have Oreo, which is the colorway that Dana used to do hers. So, you know, along with other colorways that I have, which I think will all be very good for this sweater. So kind of all of the colorways picked up for this for this month have been thought out in terms of either they kind of similar to Tusk, in which they have like a plain base color and fine speckle throughout, which will not create any pulling or anything like that, or they're the opposite. They're more like what Dana did with Oreo. They are more contrasting, so that I have a lot of black and white, for example, very contrasting with like a pop of color in there. So Oreo in this case has blue pop of color, but as we go through the colorway you'll see what I mean. And yeah, I think that's about it for now. Let's just go to the colors and the yarn so that this episode doesn't last 2 hours. Alright, so let's go through to the yarn. The first one I'm going to show you, because we were just talking about that, will be Tusk. As I said, I'm not going to go through each of the yarn because I have restocked Tusk so many times, so you'll be able to look through old flashed yarn, go to the description and you'll see. I always put in the description below at what time in the video you can find, you know, the visual for that yarn. So just go through past video. If you want to see it on a certain base, you'll find it there, but I will show it briefly to you, you know, on these ones just over or like this. I have the Lush Wild DK, which is, yeah, my Merino DK is drying right now, so I don't have it this one, but here are the other 3. In the center you've got Merino 4-ply. This is Sparkle Sock, so this is what I made mine with, and I highly recommend. It's so soft. Yeah, if you never needed with sparkle sock and you like it but you're afraid that it might be itchy or something, you know, fear not, it absolutely isn't. It's probably one of my softest bays. The silver stellina in there is very subtle. It is not overwhelming amount of sparkle. It's very just gentle to the eye, but it's also not scratchy at all. So, you know, do not assume. It's actually really beautiful, and that 2-ply high twist is gorgeous. So it is a 4-ply, but it's a 2-ply construction. And yeah, that's what I made mine with, and definitely love it, so recommend. And then I have it on smitten linen here as well, which also would be gorgeous to knit with. I'm making another sweater with Tusk on smitten linen, who I haven't touched for a long time, so you know, I'm not going to show it now. But yeah, I just love this colorway. I think it's such a staple. It's the best nude you can get, and cream without being too white, without being too dark, and those speckles, you know, of color are just the right amount and brings a bit of, you know, excitement and pop to it without being overwhelming or too frivolous is probably not the right word, too exciting, I guess, too out there. Now I have dyed Tusk on a new base this month, so I'll show you this one. This is the Angel Lace base. I decided to have fun this month with Angel Lace. So this is one of my newish bays. I've been offering it in the shop not for very long, but it has far become one of mine and yours favorite because of its versatility. Let's just say that's the right word. It's versatile. It's perfect. Not only is it super soft, so it's a 50% mix of silk. Let me try and remember. No, it's a 50% baby Suri alpaca. That's right, the softest yarn out there, and also hypoallergenic. So 50% baby Suri alpaca, 30% extra fine merino, and 20% silk. So you've got that strength, you've got that drape, and you've got that softness. It's just gorgeous. You still got a bit of sheen to it from the silk. It's honestly just a perfect blend. And the beauty of this is that it's lace weight, and you get 1200 meters per skein. So that's a lot. That is pretty much ideal. Like if you want to make any sweater and you want to soften the color with this, for example, even if you do have the Tusk colorway and you want to hold something, how fun to just have 1200 meters to play with. You could just hold the lace double and get 4-ply, and that still gives you 600 meters, you know. And if you wanted DK, you'd still get 300 meters, which is more than one skein of DK usually with this. So you'd still have lots of options basically. It's gorgeous. And yeah, so I just usually, you know, up to now I have been dyeing it only on semi-solid so that it would be held with other colors, but then I decided to do the other way around this month and to have fun and to dye speckles on it and try it. Because it's a non-machine wash colorway, base, you know, be gentle with it when washing it, but that also means that the speckles are not as fine as they would be on other bases, but it actually came out really beautiful. So I absolutely adore this. I think this is such a staple to have. You'll definitely find use for it with 1200 meters, and as I said, just those speckles are not too much but just enough to bring a little bit of pop. So yay. I have only a couple of them. Sorry, I have 4 of them, and I don't have much Angel Lace this month. This was left over from another yarn delivery, so I have one other colorway in Angel Lace and that's it. But Tusk for this month anyway is restocked. The next colorway that we are going to go through is also a new colorway. Not also, it's a new colorway. I only released it at my last update, which was in November last year, and then I offered it for pre-order with the Greek mythology collection. So it is one of those Greek mythology collection. On that note, briefly, the Greek mythology collection I get a bunch of questions about, because I offered the mini set for all the colors, which so far there is 11, and a lot of people have asked me when am I going to offer that again. I will, but I won't offer that again until the collection is complete, which I don't know when that's going to be. It's going to be sometime this year, but I'm planning on a few more colorways to be added yet. And when the collection is finished, I will reoffer the mini but mini set for the whole collection. So you'll get a chance to get it at that point. Unfortunately, with all the pre-orders and everything, I could only offer so much. So without further ado, this one is Cerberus, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Cerberus, but that's the 3 headed hound beast, black beast dog, that, you know, guards the gates of hell. So it is Hades' pet, basically. But anyways, so I don't know how well this is gonna render, because this is an absolute beauty, you guys, but it shines in person. Basically, I wanted to create the blackest of yarn, so obviously it's not completely black, you see it's more of a very dark grey. The reason for that is that I wanted to have neon speckle above, like, you know, above it or underneath it, that would shine through to the black. And obviously if it was pure black, you wouldn't see any speckles. So I went as, I say, almost as dark as I could with the charcoal grey. And I could have maybe gone a little bit darker, but I just stopped there basically. So that's a very dark grey, and it offers speckle neon that you can see through, and you'll see them a lot more when you actually hold that yarn in your hand. So I'll show it to you, probably you'll be able to see it there, but in photos it just looks like a black or dark grey yarn and doesn't have much more to it. So as you can see here, there is an array of speckle, and the fun fact is those are the same speckles that you would have in another colorway that we have this month called Starlight, which I'll talk about later, but those are the same colorway. This is just a dark version basically. So continuing with the colorways that are just like a one base color but have speckles above. The next one is also a favorite, and this one I have restocked a few times because you guys are big fans, and I'm bringing it back again this year and this month is what I meant, and it is Furcifer Pardalis. This is a really fun colorway also to knit the Yeah Yeah Sweater with. I think that would work beautifully. So alright, so next in line is Starlight. So Starlight is a new colorway. It's the first time it'll be launched this month. I created it basically, that was the final color for the Christmas Advent calendar, the one that everyone received as a full skein. Okay, that was Alexa, and I'm not sure what she said, but that was creepy. So I was just saying that was the full skein of 100 gram that everyone received on the 25th on Christmas Day. You know, those Christmas Advent were exclusive. All the colorways are created on, you know, just a whim as I'm going, and I'm not writing anything down, and that's kind of part of you know, the magic for me when I do clubs and things like that. I like to make it an exclusive thing, but I had always planned to keep the final colorway as a release afterwards. So that's what is Starlight, and here it is on Bliss. It's basically, as I was saying, it's a soft silver grey base with a neon speckle throughout. It's the same speckles as you have in Cerberus, just a different base color. And basically that was because when making those Christmas Advent I had those little star glitter holographic, and I kept sprinkling them everywhere and I couldn't help myself. And basically I just tried to recreate that multitude of color you've got in holographic little stars within a skein. So that's what it is. And so anyways, this is Starlight on Bliss. again, this is a perfect colorway to knit the sweater with. Highly recommend. I haven't knitted with it yet, but I actually have a plan in mind for it, and the plan that I have includes this Starlight on angel lace, which I'm about to show you. I dyed some extra for me, but I decided to also dye it on angel lace and try it out. I'm very happy with the result. I think it's beautiful. Look at this. Yeah, I love it. Somehow still managed to keep, you know, speckles quite soft and not too bleedy, even though this is a non-superwash colorway. It is stunning. So I know what I'm gonna do with it personally, and I was gonna recommend you that for this month, so I'm gonna have a sweater quantity of that for one lucky person to grab if they are so inclined. Otherwise I will keep it for myself and do something with it, or, you know, buy more and do the same thing again later. So I'm gonna show you now one new colorway, and I've only got it on one base, and that base I've only got on that one colorway. Basically that was a leftover of my Swanky DK yarn, which I ordered for another update last year, and I had only 4 skeins left, so I decided to just do a color that would go perfectly to go with decided to dye a color that would perfectly go with Starlight on angel lace to be held together. And I will offer that because if you follow me, you might have seen me wear on another Flash the Yarn this bright coral cardigan that I absolutely adore and have on a fisherman's rib. Silly, I don't have it on me right now. I would have showed it otherwise, but basically I held 1 skein of the Swanky DK. Well, I think I ended up using 2 or 3, I can't remember, but I held this 1 strand of the Swanky DK, which is 8 ply, with 2 strands of angel lace, and that gave me a 12 ply total, lace being 2 ply. 8 plus 2 plus 2 equal 12. So that's kind of how it works, but it gave it this beautiful softness. And like, honestly, this cardigan is everything to me. It is soft, it is bouncy, like it has bounce to it, but it also has drape. It just sits amazingly on your shoulder. So I just want to knit another cardigan, and I basically want to do it with this colorway and angel lace in the same kind of combination because I absolutely love it. The only downside is that it's a little bit peely, and I think that's due to the alpaca content in both, especially on the angel lace, the baby suri. But when it comes to that, I think if you use like a stone to remove all the peels, eventually you only have to do it once or twice, and I think it stops after that. But I haven't tested that theory, so I'm not sure. Someone can maybe tell me in the comments. But anyways, I will show you now this colorway, which I called Mouse. So mouse, because light gray little mouse, I think it's perfect. I've got a few light gray colorways. I've got another one that's quite close to this. It's called Luna. However, Luna is more on the blue tinge to blue kind of silver, while this is more of a neutral to yellow silver. And I've got 4 skeins of this. Swanky DK is a beautiful mix of 50%, I think, alpaca, 25% linen, and 25% silk. So it's got just dye resistance, and you know, I think the yellowness in the silver comes from the linen, which is quite yellow, and you've got 25% of it in there. So that yarn actually has so much shines, and funnily enough, you'll see when I release photos of it on my Instagram, it almost looks like it's not the same batch, and one of the batches is more yellow than the other, but honestly it's exactly the same. It just changes with the light because of the linen content and everything in there. But what I meant to say is, check it out. Now, isn't that the perfect combo for a top or a cardigan or anything like that? So if you held 1 strand of angel lace with this yarn, that would give you a 10 ply, so lots of pattern option on 10 ply, or just hold 2 strands and you get 12 ply. And because you've got 1200 meters, for me just 1 skein was plenty. I had lots left to do a full cardigan, so honestly, with long sleeve, definitely my next project, I think, somewhere around those lines. But yeah, someone should snatch that on the next update before I do. So that's it for Starlight and Mouse. Alright, next we have Oreo. So I talked about it before. Dana, who lovely Dana, had designed this Yeah Yeah sweater with this, and she used Oreo that I sent to her in Germany. And honestly, I wasn't sure that this would be the right kind of colorway for such a, let's just say, a busy design, because there is so much to this design. There's two cable charts, so like the main cable, big one that's like all along the neckline and all along the sleeves, but then you have on the side two more little cables, and then you have broken rib, which is kind of must stitch one by one on the body. So I was like, well, is a colorway that is so contrasting, you know, in color with the striped black and white and color, won't that mean that the cables and the details get lost in it, which is why I did mine in white. But to be honest, hers is actually stunning. I absolutely love it. Somehow it pulls it off completely, so I decided to bring back Oreo and another colorway kind of similar, to offer a couple of options if you preferred her version rather than this kind. So Oreo here on Bliss Wild. That's it for Oreo. Yeah, so as I said, you can see the contrast, black, white, blue, really just strong. But to be honest, just have a check on my Instagram or hers. You'll see her sweater being displayed there and how beautiful it looks. So I don't think there's any rules to knitting. You choose your weapon, you choose the color that you like, that you think you'll wear, and I think that's what matters the most, and not necessarily what patterns you're going to use with it. Some people are more picky than others. I just think you can do whatever you want and always get away with it if you like. It's all about you and how you want to wear your clothes, basically. So next colorway is a colorway that was inspired by my little pup, and I'm not going to say his name because he's craving attention right now, so if I say his name he's gonna come and disturb me. Anyways, I adopted him in 2020 at the end of the year, and I then decided to create a little color based on his beautiful fur, because he's a blue male. Blah. Today is very hard with words. He's a blue male Pomeranian, so kind of an unusual color for this breed of dog, and basically is like a beautiful mix of white, black, gray, and he's got little, you know, tan kind of spots as well on him. He's just a beautiful little dog. And then I hand knitted him a little collar that I used like a strand of like bright neon purple and some coral pink and orange in there, so to keep this colorway that I named after him interesting, I added a pop of color in there, which is those colors. I only dyed this colorway once when I released it, and I haven't brought it back since, so it's actually been a while. I think it's been basically just above a year now that I haven't had this on the shop. So amazing, exciting to bring it back. And again, I have it on those 4 bays. Get away, bat. Fly. On those 4 bays that are the Bliss Wild 4-ply, Lush Wild DK 8-ply, the Smith & Linen 4-ply, which is actually a single ply but it's a 4-ply equivalent, and the Sparkle Sock 2-ply twist construction, but that is actually also a 4-ply. So I've only got 1 DK this month and 3 4-ply. Yeah. This colorway is super fun. I think, again, in the same line as Oreo, you could expect it to knit the same way Oreo does. So if you want an idea of that, go check out Dana's sweater. I will have it listed on the Oreo product as a photo as well, so you can have a look. And I think this would be very similar in how it comes out in the end, but very fun on the other side of the color spectrum with those pink, coral and purple. Just really love that one. I think it'll be beautiful. So that's it when it comes to our main colorways for this month, which I have on these 4 bays, with exceptional, you know, entry of mouse on the Swanky Decay and of angel lace on 2 of the bays as well. Sorry, 2 of the colorways. But I also have 1 more new base to introduce this month. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this one going, so I haven't really focused too much on it, but I will introduce it to you now. And I created 3 different options on this colorway, on this yarn. So it is a Yak 4-ply yarn, which is the first time I'm getting this on hand. It is a mix of 60% superfine merino, 20% silk and 20% yak. It is super soft and it is naturally a taupe grey shade due to the yak content. And I wasn't sure, I mean I love it, it's beautiful, but I wasn't sure if I was going to keep this as a runner. So I decided to just dye this couple of kilos that I had and let you guys decide what you felt about it, and then we could go from there. But I did not want to dye you know, all these classic colorways that I'm bringing on it, just due to the natural hue and color of the yarn. I decided to just play a little bit with it and see what I could do. So I created 2 separate colorways, which I'll show you first, and then I also created 1 fade, which goes, it's a 5 skein fade basically, and it's a one-of-a-kind. I haven't written the recipe or anything, I just had fun with it basically, and actually really like that fade. I think it's beautiful, and there will be 2 of it available. But first of all, let me show you the 2 colorways that I created without. The first one is a mix of, you know, blue, green and pink. There it is. Now, it's important to note that because it is looking a bit different with all these wee stripes, this has been rewound. All of the yak for this specific colorway, I had to rewind because for some reason the yarn got really tangled and it ended up resulting in really messy skeins. So I just rewound them and it resulted in this, you know, obviously striped pattern, but it you know, that's why it's not more like spots like usually. But basically it's a very simple yarn which also preserve a lot of the natural yak color in it, with like pastel layers of blue, pink, and kind of greeny. Sometimes there's a bit of yellow, which it will be very subtle because I went very much pastel. I think the green actually came out strong. I mean the blue green came out too strong, and I meant for it to be subtle, but I actually like this at all. I think it'll be beautiful knitted all together, and there is quite a few little grey speckles through as well. So if you like something a bit more subtle, this yarn is absolutely divine. It is so soft, and you get 366 meters per 100 gram, so just kind of your classic 4-ply amount of yarn, but honestly just really soft. I think the silk plus the yak and the merino is a beautiful combo. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do, you know, with this yarn, if I keep stocking it, but you guys can let me know in the comment if you like it or not. Feel free to let me know. Your input is very valuable to help me decide what to do in the future. Without further ado, let's show you number 2. This one was initially just a teal kind of like layers, and I ended up thinking no, it needs something more, it needs over dyeing. So I went a bit more rogue on it and I over dyed it with a very rich cherry red, which created this like beautiful yarn that is more now on the red to purple. So this would be just the red by itself here, but then obviously because it had been dyed before, you have like hues of teal and green kind of shining through. It is a little similar to one of the yarn that I was offering in the mini for the Christmas advent, but just kind of like a dark goth, beautiful rich red purple, which I think is stunning. I have 5 of each, so I have 5 of this one and 5 of the other one. That's more than enough for a sweater quantity, so if this speaks to you, grab it now. They are all unique. There won't be any more of this color, this yarn, maybe this yarn, but not on this color, because all of them I just had fun, didn't write recipes, just had fun. I can probably recreate them, but no guarantee here. So there you go. I'm not sure how I'm gonna call them. They're probably gonna be called Yak OOAK, which is one of a kind, you know. So, and together, by the way, they are beautiful as well. I think they play gorgeous together, so it'll be beautiful color work as well, were you to want to take that direction. Yeah. Now I'm gonna show you the fade. I'm really happy with this fade. Again, just like had fun in the pot and didn't really worry too much about rules. I will have 2 of these fades available. It's always very hard to lift 5 skeins to show at once on the camera. But here you are. So I might show them to you, you know, slowly. So those are the first one. So it goes from this you know, several layers of blue, you got some purple and green speckle in there, to this softer green, kind of minty green, and you have more green, more purple, but you have less of the main blue in there. Transfers to this guy, which has now pink and yellow kind of emerging through, to this guy, which becomes a bit more subtle, with still a tiny bit of blue, but mainly just pink and yellows, to this bold yellow and pink one. You could, I think, invert the last 2, because initially the one that has the more bold yellow wasn't supposed to be the last one, but as I, you know, dried them, scanned them and placed them next to each other, I found that either way this works, so depending what effects you want. But it's so hard to show, but here it is. It's honestly, yeah, it's impossible to show it all at once, because they're also very drapey. I think that 20% silk, you know, does something to that effect. You can probably see a bit more now. Here you go. So yeah, so you could maybe invert these 2 if you preferred the yellow to be the last kind of color. But yeah, so that would make a beautiful faded shawl or sweater if you liked these colors. The softness is beautiful, the warmth of the yak I can't even imagine for winter, so maybe you could treat someone with a little Christmas is gone, but present or gift or something like that. I myself knitted a shawl for my grandma that I sent her for Christmas, and she was so happy. And my biggest regret is that I didn't take photos of that shawl before sending it. I don't know what came through my head. I just kept forgetting. I completely forgot to take photos, and I really regret it because it was the flower press shawl. Moving on, so that's it for this month. Basically, we have gone through all of the colors. It is a smaller update this month. I was mainly playing with leftover yarn from other you know, orders that I had done because of the delay with everything and a bit of a break. Money was running a little bit low, especially the Christmas period, so basically I just didn't reinvest too much in yarn for this month, but also due to the break, due to all my pre-orders to be worked, everything else and some other news and things that I'm working on, I just couldn't afford to bring a really huge update this time. But I really wanted to bring a little one for you guys before the end of the month. But rest assured, I have some big plans for February already, so I have yarn that's just ready to press order, and yeah, I'm excited to figure out what else I'm gonna bring. I'm also gonna have 5 colorways this month on pre-order like I do every month. I haven't decided which one yet. I have put a poll in my stories to ask you, and I have done that every time before, but for some reason no one ever says anything. I'm not sure why, but I never receive an answer. I guess people don't know, but then I have a lot of people be like, well, messaging me and saying, when are you bringing back this color, when are you bringing back this color? And it's funny because I'm assuming that why wouldn't these people ask for that color when the opportunity comes? But I guess not everyone sees that stories or knows what they want at that certain point. But either way, I'm just gonna make my own pick this time again, and just select 5 colorways that I think will pair well with many of the colors that are coming this month, and yeah, let you guys pre-order these. I'm having a delivery time, I'd say end of February probably, but everything will be in the product details. And once again, you can file all the information for this podcast episode, so that it is the giveaway, that it is the colorway names, or in, you know, info in the description below. And yeah, the shop live will go on Sunday at 2 p.m. and I really hope to see you there, and I hope that you'll find what you like if you after something specific. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave me a comment here, or you can also contact me on my social media, which is where I'm the most active, especially Instagram or Facebook. I'm on the Yeah Yeah Yarn at everything, so you can find me rather easily, but again, all of that will be at the end of the video and in the description below. Don't hesitate to do the YouTube thing of subscribing or sharing or whatever you can. It always is such a huge help for a small little business like mine growing up. So thanks so much, you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend and happy new year 2022. I hope we have a lot of good things coming for all of us. Bye.